It's going to be a quick lesson to avoid any memory leaks. So whenever we're generating that create object URL, there's a precaution that we should take, and that's to avoid any memory leaks. So using the file value, we're going to check to see if it already exists. So I'm going to move this actually as a global variable. And that way, if we create a second file, we can always check to see if the first one exists. So let's take a look for that before we generate our create object URL. And we're going to check to see if file is not equal to null. So basically, if there is a value for file, then what we want to do is we want to use that window object URL and revoke object URL. So basically it releases any existing object URL that might be there, and we're going to revoke it as file. So that will give us the ability when we do want to create the new one that we're removing that existing one. And we're actually going to place that on URL instead of file. So the URL needs to be the one that's the global object, not the file. So we're checking to see if the URL is there. And if it is, then we're releasing the URL. And otherwise, we're going to set the URL. And then this one can still have the file within the create CSV. So within that scope. So there's a URL, and this is the revoking of the URL, checking to see if it's available globally. And this is obviously, URL is a window object. So you can include the window as well to make it more exact, and it'll work the same way. So let's try that out. So now when we create the file, and we can create another file, we can create another one, because it's constantly releasing the existing one. Whereas before, if we clicked it, we would only have the one. So that's a quick fix. And coming up next, we're going to go back into creating the CSV file.